Morning everyone, and welcome to this gentle morning stretch. We start seated on the mat, finding ourselves in a comfortable position. Make sure that your back is straight, finding a straight line in your spine. Put your hands down on your knees and start to inhale and exhale through your nose. Deep inhales and deep exhales. Now start to warm up your hips by moving your upper body in big circles. So we inhale and come forward. Exhale, round your spine, come all the way back. Inhale to the front. Exhale through the back. Change direction of the movement and continue to move like this in pace with your own breath. Now on your next exhale, you slowly come back to center, and we're gonna start to stretch the side of our body. Put your left arm to the floor and raise up your right arm to the sky as you fall over to the right side and feel the side stretch here. Breathing in and out to deepen the stretch. On your next inhale, you move to the other side. So right arm to the floor and left arm up to the sky. Fall over to that side and feel the stretch in your side. Now clasp your hands in front of you and start to round your spine as much as you can, stretching your scapula. And with your next inhale, you take your arms back, clasp them there, and lift up your chest to the sky, feeling the chest, the heart, shoulders opening. On your next exhale, come back to neutral and start to tilt your head to the back, looking at the sky. As you exhale, you start to look at your chest. Inhale, look up to the sky. Exhale, look to your chest. Feel the stretch in your neck. Now start to tilt your head to the right side. And as you exhale, you tilt to the left. Inhale, tilt to the right. Exhale, tilt to the other side. With your next exhale, you slowly start to come back to neutral and stretch your arms in front of you and start to do big circles with your ankles. And we switch direction. Now take your legs in front of you and start to rotate your wrist in big circles. Breathing here. Change direction. On your next exhale, we start to transition into tabletop position. Find your knees under your hips and your hands in line with your shoulders. Start to do some cats and cows here. So you inhale and look up to the ceiling, and exhale around your spine. Inhale, look up. Exhale around your spine. As you continue to do this a couple of rounds in line with your own breath, maybe you want to start to do some circles with your hips, adding that on to the movement. And don't forget to inhale deeply through the nose, exhale deeply through the nose as you continue to move up and down with your spine. On your next exhale, you slowly start to come back to neutral and tuck your toes, coming up to down dog. Find the right position in your down dog by pushing away the floor with your hands, lengthening your spine, and then you slowly start to walk your dog by inhaling and lifting your right heel from the ground, exhaling, switching over to the other side. And continue like this a couple of rounds in line with your own breath. Now, on your next exhale, you slowly come down with both heels to the ground. And we inhale and lift up the right leg to the sky, stretch it as much as you can before you let it fall over to your bum, opening up your hip to the sky. On your next exhale, you take that leg all the way to the front, in between your hands, and take your left knee down to the mat, untuck your toes, and raise up your arms to the sky, feeling the stretch in your hips and your front thigh. On your next exhale, you come down with your hands to the mat and step back to down dog. Find your position before we start to raise up the left leg to the sky. Point the toes to the sky and open up your hips by falling with that leg to your bum. We exhale and step that leg to the front in between our hands and take the right knee down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Inhale, arms to the sky. Feeling the stretch in your hip and your front thigh here. As you exhale, you take your hands to the mat and step back to down dog. This time we come into a plank. Put our knees down to the mat and let your chest and chin fall all the way down before you inhale to cobra. As we exhale, we come back to child's pose. Knees in line with your mat, push your hips back and arms to the front, forehead to the floor. Take a deep inhale and exhale here. On your next inhale, you start to walk your hands to the left side of the mat. Breathing in and out here before you take your right hand and put it on top of your left to deepen the side stretch. Breathe here, in and out. On your next inhale, you start to walk your hands to the right side of the mat, putting your forehead to the floor and your left hand on top of your right to deepen the side stretch. Breathing in and out. In and out. Now, on your next inhale, you slowly start to come back to center and raise up on your knees again, transitioning into puppy pose. So here we want to put our elbows down to the mat, finding a hip-wide stance with our knees, having the toes tucked, and then start to stretch back your upper body, feeling the opening in your shoulders, and breathing here for a couple of rounds in your own pace. On your next exhale, we slowly start to transition into thread the needle pose. So we take our hands a little bit further to the front before we start to thread the needle with the right arm under the left arm. Feeling the stretch in your back here, really opening up the space between your scapulas. Rest your chin to the floor, and with your next inhale, we slowly start to transition to the other side. Chin to the floor, breathing in and out, feeling the opening in your back between your scapulas. On your next inhale, you start to come out of the pose and step your legs back. Come all the way down to the mat, hands to the side, chin at the mat. Now bend your knees toward your bum, catch your ankles with your hands and lift up your chest, looking slightly to the front, really opening up our chest here, releasing the tension you might have after a night of sleep. On your next exhale, release your feet, slowly come down to the mat and put your hands under your face as a pillow, resting here in Makrasana. On our next inhale, we slowly start to transition to our back. We're getting ready for fish pose, so we tuck our arms under our body and start to raise up on our elbows, finding the crown of the head in the mat and lift up your upper body, opening up your shoulders here. Toes should point forward and you take deep inhales and exhales here. Now gently start to come out of the pose by looking at your toes to neutralize your neck before you come all the way down to the floor and untuck your arms. Now bend your knees to your body, hug them gently and start to rock a little side to side, massaging the lower back and breathing here in and out through the nose. On your next exhale, you slowly come back to center and take your legs forward, place them on the mat before you start bending them towards your bum. We're getting ready for wheels, so you can either start in half, where you lift up your hips to the sky and tuck your arms under, clasping your wrists, staying like this for a couple of breaths before we gently start to come out of the pose and descend down to the floor again. Going for second round, you can do full wheel by putting your hands close to your ears. Inhale and lift up your whole body to the sky, staying here, breathing, lengthening your spine before you start to slowly come down all the way to the mat. Transition into hugging your knees and rock a little side to side before you find stillness in the center. Then you hug your knees a little harder and come up with your chest, neutral neck, and stay here for a couple of breaths to neutralize your spine after the back bends. With your next exhale, slowly release your legs and come all the way down, lying on the mat. Now inhale and bend your knees towards yourself again as you open up to happy baby. Make sure that your sacrum is firmly in the floor here and having your hands outside your feet, opening up your hips and taking deep inhales and exhale. If you prefer to open up your legs all the way to the side, you can grip your big toe with your index finger and middle finger and open up your hips even more here. Taking deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Now with your next exhale, slowly come out of the pose and start to roll over to your stomach, coming all the way down to the mat. Take your arms and put them in line with your shoulders, palms facing down. Now take your right leg to the opposite side, trying to put that foot down to the floor to deepen the stretch as we open up our hip and our shoulder, and we stay here for a couple of breaths. With your next exhale, we transition to the other side, opening up the left hip and the left shoulder. Your head is resting on the mat, and you slowly inhale and exhale here, feeling the deepening of the stretch. On your next exhale, you slowly come back to center and raise up into seated position. We're coming into butterfly pose here, so put your feet against each other and have a straight back as you open up your hips, pushing your elbows to your knees. And if that's not enough to come deeper into the stretch, you can take your arms forward and walk with your hands down with the floor, and take deep breaths here, feeling the stiffness leaving your hips after a night of sleep. With our next exhale, we slowly start to come back to center, and we are transitioning all the way down, lying on the mat, getting ready for Shavasana. Make sure to find yourself in a comfortable position, maybe widening the space between your legs a little bit. Have your feet fall floppy out to the side, and relax your shoulders, opening up your palms. Let them face the sky and just rest here. Enjoy a moment of being, and see if you can notice any sensations in your body. Maybe feeling less stiff than before this practice. Maybe feeling energized, ready for the day. No matter, this is your time to just breathe and be here and now. Now slowly start to wake up your physical body again by moving your fingers a little bit, moving your toes, and slowly start to wake up your whole body. And when you're ready, take your knees to your chest and roll over to the side that you prefer. Staying here like a little baby. Before you start, still with eyes closed, to come up to a seated position. Take a deep breath in and out here, ending the practice as we started it, sitting cross-legged on the mat. Put your hands to your heart center and show yourself some love and gratitude for showing up today, nurturing your mind, body, and spirit. And I want to thank you for joining me on the mat today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.